Welcome back to our channel. Hear me out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys about some headlines that we recently heard about concerning a very big pop star, LIZZO. So I was a little shocked. I think I'm still shocked, but someone over here wasn't so shocked.
Because I can read people and I could tell that she's shady as hell. She probably did all those things. I wouldn't even doubt it. But go ahead. Let us know what the supposed allegations are. Not supposed, I guess it's allegations.
Allegations, right? Okay, so her former dancers, she's got, I want to say there's about 4 of them in the pleading that came out alleging certain misconduct, sexual harassment, and toxic workplace, also fat shaming. So there's a little bit of like all all, all types of isms involved in this pleading.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dancers are alleging that LIZZO basically created a toxic work environment with her actions in the way that she treated them, where she supposedly, like I said, fat shamed one of the dancers. She stated her her weight gain was questioned by LIZZO. Mind you,
So she's the only one that can eat snacks?
Ma'am.
I know. I'm not fat shaming. I'm just saying, us women, guys, for whoever's there, we fluctuate in weight. It could be the time of the month. It could be I'm just extra hungry this day. Maybe I don't want to eat as much the next couple days because I ate too much stuff. Maybe intermittent fasting. I'm not shaming. I'm just saying we fluctuate a lot. Water weight, hello, LIZZO. You should understand. I'm not fat shaming you, but we all eat snacks. Continue.
So, okay. Yes, we fluctuate. We do. But so in her allegations, she's not saying that LIZZO came right out and said you're fat or why are you so fat or any of that, right? She kind of like basically said that LIZZO like alluded to her gaining weight, and so supposedly what LIZZO said was, "Are you okay?" Or we've noticed a drop in your performance, like energy and things of that nature. And so this made the dancer feel like she was fat shaming her, like she had to explain herself. She claims that she was going through depression and anxiety at the time and other health issues that did contribute to her decline in her energy and possible weight gain. And that, like, to her felt like a violation because she had to explain that to her, technically her employer. And so that's understandable. I totally get that on that side of things. But when I'm listening to her tell this, because she's gone on multiple news outlets to talk about this thing, there's the pleading also has a lot of this information. Nowhere does it seem like LIZZO is callously like fat shaming her or like being just in general ugly about a weight gain situation. I would think that her being the employer, she would be concerned about your work product, about whether your work ethic has dropped or things of that nature. So it seems to me it seemed a little bit odd that was taken as fat shaming. And so I want to say that the dancer even mentioned how she told him she was going to therapy or was seeking therapy because of all of this. And there's a lot that I think happens in today's society when it comes to people being a tad bit sensitive, people kind of taking things to heart or kind of taking things in a way that maybe they were not like intended to be like said. And that's what I kept gathering from like her statement is like, that doesn't feel like, fat shaming. But again, to each their own.
I see here. Okay, I looked up the definition. This is live, guys.
Of course. Of
Look
course.
up something.
You and your
So I
definition
looked
look
up
up.
at one of the definitions of body fat shaming, and it says the act or practice of subjecting someone perceived as fat or overweight to criticism or mockery. So it's perception.
It
She
is.
probably thought, she felt, a certain way. I can understand because, if this was a regular work environment, 9 to 5, productivity, people want to see lively dancers and things like that. But then there's also, you know, that could be hostile to me. It's all about perception.
Definitely. But we're also talking about the type of work that's being done. And in essence, this dancer is not doing a 9 to 5. She's not working an office job. She's working a job as a backup dancer on a world tour for a pop star. No matter what Lizzo's weight, or physique is like. I mean, we've heard stories of Beyonce, of, J Lo being very much like in tune with what their dancers need to do, how their dancers need to perform, the way that their shows look overall. Nobody is out here claiming, oh, Beyonce's fat shaming somebody. Like, if Beyonce comes and asks you, hey, what's going on? Something wrong? Your work ethic seems to be like declining a little bit. Are you going to take that as like fat shaming? I mean, just because Beyonce's skinny, maybe I could perceive it as fat shaming. Like, I feel like there's like kind of a double-edged sword with that. Yes, I completely understand perception. That's her perception. That's how she felt, and nobody should feel that way, of course. But I think like it just doesn't come across to me as something where Lizzo is this kind of like hypocrite out here fat shaming someone, given her penchant for body positivity, and how she's continuously gone on, social media and asked people to stop, trolling her as they do about her own weight. So I don't know, that to me just didn't, I don't know, it didn't sit right. It just kind of felt like, mm, okay, like you're literally tearing somebody's image down here, right? Because this is Lizzo's like whole thing. The image of her being happy go lucky, the image of her being like this like cool person, chill, and then also body positivity, women empowerment, all that. But like, if that is one person's perception, is it okay for that person based on their perception to sue them and then cause that person to lose endorsements, to lose, all these different things that can come of it? Because today's society and cancel culture, it's like insane. And I just feel like that was a little bit like much to sue somebody over. Like, no.
I guess I don't know what do the official documents say. Here I'm looking like at NBC News, and it says the dancers accused Lizzo of calling attention to one of the dancers' weight gain and later berating, then firing that dancer after she recorded a meeting because of a health condition.
But see,
So
that's not how she's presenting it when she's on these news cycles, this whole press tour she's doing. That is
mhm.
not how she's presenting it. At one point, I want to say she even said, "Oh, I don't even know if Lizzo was meaning to say that to me, or if Lizzo was attacking me." Like, it just doesn't seem like. Listen, a pleading is going to be typed out by your attorney. It's not going to be typed out. It's probably even typed up by a paralegal. It's not going to be typed up by the person who's actually, saying these things. The petition is going to say a certain litany of things, and it's going to be worded in such a way that legal jargon makes things seem a lot more crazy than what they really are. And so when she's out there and she's giving these interviews and she's basically just saying like, well, I feel as though she was weight shaming me, not because she asked me, why am I fat? Why am I gaining weight? But because she just asked me, are you okay? Or is everything okay? Like, she's not asking you for your health status. You volunteered that information. And I believe her statement also says that she felt like she had to provide that information, otherwise she'd get fired. But, like, that's not what
That could
happened.
be intimidation.
Right. No, definitely. But it's like,
Mhm.
what, again, perception, what made her perceive that this meeting called for, her to be intimidated and, to like, I just, something's not clicking for me with it. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just old and I feel like some things are just a little bit soft and I don't know. Like, why are we taking things to heart like this? But whatever. So yeah, I mean that was part of it, right? So three of her former dancers filed this, they alleged misconduct by the production company, which is Big Touring Inc. And her dance team captain, Charlene Quigley. Now from my understanding, the team captain, she's also kind of corroborated like some of their stories. There's been other people who come out saying, "Yeah, I quit working for her because of this, and that." There was a director, a documentarian who was working on a doc for Lizzo, who's also saying she quit because of you know toxic work environment or whatever. So I'm not absolving Lizzo of anything. I'm just saying like some of this stuff seems a little bit like off, right? Like I don't know.
But if all these people are saying these things, then if there's smoke, there's fire.
That's true. Yeah, no, for sure. And so among the claims included in the suit is that Lizzo pressured dancers into unwanted sexual situations. She made statements that were perceived as thinly veiled comments about a dancer's weight gain and put people through grueling rehearsals that led one dancer to soil herself. Um, so apparently, and I didn't know this because I don't follow Lizzo that closely, but apparently Lizzo had I don't know if it was a Prime Amazon Prime show, like a competition for dancers to go on tour with her. So I want to say there's been at least 2 seasons that I'm aware of, and one of the three dancers that filed the lawsuit was a part of the first season and was trying to get on the second season. And there's a video that's circulating where she's saying how like she had such a great time in season one and she was like dying to be a part of season two and how great Lizzo was. All of these alleged incidents supposedly took place during that first season. So it's kind of contradictory a video coming out with her trying to get onto the second season. She refutes that, this is all like some kind of cash grab because she says, well, you can easily put out a video pretending this, and that when you're trying to keep your job, when you're trying to, still be a part of something. So that was her situation. Lizzo has responded. She was quiet for a bit. She has responded, and so I'll read her statement. She said, "These last few days have been gut wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous not to be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable, like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I'm not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time." So, that was a pretty standard response.
I don't, this article also says, in addition to accusations of a hostile work environment and sexual harassment, the suit brings claims for religious and racial harassment, false imprisonment, interference with prospective economic advantage, and other allegations. Not every claim was brought against each defendant. This
Well then,
why now? Like, what's happening? Is it
right.
a show? Is it just randomly? I mean, if there's not one person, it's like a slew of people. So that's why I think it's true. At least a large portion of it. And I can't, you know what? I don't respect Lizzo. I'm gonna say that flat out.
Yeah.
I don't like that she went to, I know this is probably Eldridge holding a grudge. She went to this Lakers game in a thong
Ooh,
and got pissed that other people were not having it. Ma'am, there's a time and a place for everything.
you are
Like,
correct.
I think that she's way too entitled. I don't even like her music. So I think that all these people coming out is saying something. I don't think she's ever been like a friendly-ish. She's never given me like a friendly vibe. So I don't know. I just think that there's something there. I'm not sure if people are, being extra, I don't know, malicious or hyperbolic, but there's just too many people saying too many things. So there has to be some truth to it. And of course, Lizzo doesn't want to like mess up her money or her
It's not.
reputation. So
Yeah.
I can see people like backtracking or softening it up a little bit, but
You know.
she did something.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, I'm not putting anything past anybody. Like,
Mhm.
we have found out some crazy things about people. Like, there's times I still can't believe about Kevin Spacey. Like, I loved him in House of Cards, and look at all that. Matt Lauer, like, he was your quintessential, morning like buddy, and then all those allegations came out about him.
What was the New York governor?
Cuomo, Andrew
Cuomo.
Cuomo. Yeah. I mean, all of these things that like Ellen DeGeneres, never would I have imagined all of the allegations that came out during the pandemic about her.
Ella does not seem like a nice person either. She's funny. I like her. I crack up all the time, but she doesn't seem like a very much a good person. What
Well,
happened with
yeah.
that?
Not, I mean, she ended the show, like I think
Because of it?
that was in large part because of it, yeah. But also, like, I mean, she put out, like an apology statement or whatever, and that they were going to work on XYZ, and then like at one point her like on screen dancer or well not Twitch, who eventually committed suicide. He was in charge of some stuff or whatever to kind of like offset things. But I mean the damage was done, and
Yes.
like I mentioned earlier, what the landscape is like now in society. It's like cancel culture runs rampant, and like people are very quick to believe. There is no such thing as innocent until proven guilty in this country, even though that is supposed to be our whole legal system, right? Like,
Yeah.
but that's not the case. That hasn't been the case for such a long time, and it obviously doesn't help with social media. The comments were crazy. I mean, the comments were like insane. People were like all over this whole thing of like, oh yeah, she did it, or like, oh, and then because she got the one attorney who like represented several not so great people, she's guilty. That was what people
Oh
the
yeah. Said
people's court
guilty.
said
Well,
she was
then who's
guilty.
defending her then?
I don't know I can't recall his name, but he's like defended. I think recently he was hired to defend Jonah Hill. He
Chris Brown.
defended, yeah, Bill Cosby, I believe. Um,
Guilty.
guilty.
Alleged. Don't come and sue me. I don't got much.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I said
So,
alleged.
okay, so then, here's like a brief, I guess, like explanation on the whole lawsuits and stuff. So they were brought by plaintiffs Crystal Williams, Ariana Davis, and Noel Rodriguez. 9 areas of misconduct were alleged in total, pertaining to their experience on Lizzo's special tour. Some of these claims are made against all 3 defendants, while others are only alleged to some of the defendants. Additionally, some of the claims are made by all 3 of the plaintiffs, while others are only made by individual ones. The civil lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court and could result in monetary damages for the plaintiffs if it were to move forward and the defendants were found liable. Prior to filing the suit, Davis and Williams had been fired from the dance troupe, while Rodriguez said she resigned over how poorly her colleagues were treated. The allegations made against all three defendants include a hostile work environment that featured sexual harassment, a failure to prevent or remedy sexual harassment in the workplace, and a failure to prevent or remedy religious harassment in the workplace. The plaintiffs claimed they were made to feel their employment was precarious and that they had to comply with requests that made them uncomfortable in order to continue working. Some of those requests were of a sexual nature, including, among other things, pressure from Lizzo to attend a performance with nude dancers in Amsterdam, to eat bananas placed in nude dancers' genitals,
I
and
know. I'm just.
pressure,
It's crazy.
mhm, and pressure on one of the plaintiffs to touch a dancer's breast. Side note: there is a video where Lizzo was doing an interview a few years ago, and she talked about how she wanted to go to Amsterdam and see one of those performances where a woman sticks a banana up her vagina. And she made these very lewd facial expressions of her wanting to bite the banana while it is in the woman's genital area. So that came out recently. This clip from like a few years ago. Yeah. Other allegations were tied to religious harassment. The suit alleges quickly spoke extensively about her religious views as a Christian and berated those who didn't share these beliefs. It claims that one dancer's virginity was frequently discussed without her consent, and that dancers were pressured to participate in group Christian prayer, regardless of their religious beliefs. All three defendants did little to remedy such actions despite knowing about them, the lawsuit claims. I think all of the causes of action have some merit and some chance of succeeding. In my opinion, the strongest cause of action is the sexual harassment charge. I think it's likely that a reasonable person would think that behavior created a hostile work environment. Chicago Kent's employment law professor Nicole Porter told Vox. Porter noted that one possible defense could center on how much disclosure the plaintiffs had about the experiences they should expect to encounter in this role. And then, so, the whole thing about the fat shaming and whatnot. I mean, there's so many different things, like I said, that, like, obviously not excusing this of so many things that could be very accurate. Some things that seem a little bit like, not like they're really going to stick. Could there be, I guess, some sort of monetary compensation? Either like things get, when they, settle out of court, basically. That happened, definitely. But if Lizzo is trying to stick to what she's saying, I think she's going to want to take it all the way to court, like trial. And that could lead to having another like Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, or even Gwyneth Paltrow and her ski trial situation. Apparently celebrity trials have become like, the place to be and the thing to watch. So that could be something that happens. I think we're a long way away from that. These things take a while anyway. And who knows, like, there may be some changes along the way. Either things are going to be like pleaded out or defendants are going to be pleaded out. Who knows? But the point is that the damage, I think, has definitely been done.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly certain that, there's going to be some differences in the way that people perceive Lizzo. Even just like that same, within that same 24 or 48 hour time frame of the allegations and the petition coming out for the pleadings and all that. Beyonce, as you know, is in concert doing the Renaissance tour. Apparently during one of her sets, one of the songs she does shouts out various women in the industry, one of them being Lizzo. And apparently she did not mention her this time. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, people are thinking that that's her kind of shading Lizzo, but I saw the clip and there's a lot of people she doesn't mention, actually. So it's not just Lizzo. Could that have been a purposeful thing? Maybe. Beyonce does a lot of things very methodically. So, it could have been. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I think that, like, instead of people waiting for, like the actual stuff to come out properly or for like an actual trial to happen, the fact that she's already being crucified, like, I don't really think that she can fully bounce back. But then again, America loves to come back, so who knows?
It's just a shame because I think there's so many of us that not many of us, because I don't do that stuff. But so many people cry wolf,
Yeah.
right? And it's inaccurate. And then at the same time, there's people, that are actual victims.
Yeah.
And, let's say celebrities, they have all these yes people around them.
Hmm.
They treat probably people whichever way they want to treat them because,
Yeah.
they're the celebrity, they have money. So I think it's just, kind of like an unfortunate situation. People should stop lying because
Oh, God.
now we can't take anything serious.
I know.
People should stop trying to be on the come up because it's like, oh, you're suing them because you want some money.
Yeah.
Like we can't even differentiate what's real and what's not. It's always like, is it money motivated? Is it I'm just trying to hurt you? Is it like, oh, now I'm intimidating you and I want to pay you off to be quiet kind of thing? So
Hmm.
I think we're just in this ambiguous spot that you kind of just never know. Like you want to
Yeah.
side with the victim, but then you're like, is there like
Right.
something off with your story? But then, it's just, and you can't necessarily be Switzerland. So
No.
then what can you do? This is,
Different time, I think, and
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
it is. And I mean, whatever the case may be, like, I hope there's some sort of resolution, but either way, damage is done. Like, I don't see right now how things can kind of like change and go in Lizzo's favor because even let's say one of the dancers backs out or recants or whatever, like it's out
Mhm.
there, the same way that people have been finding these clips of Lizzo talking about visiting Amsterdam, the same way that in a few years we're gonna find this stuff, and it's gonna,
Shout out to the FBI, Twitterverse, Instagram Nation,
bro,
Facebook world, Meta world.
they literally do not waste a second. There is going to, if you need to find
I low
something,
key love it though. We'll have
of course,
facts real quick.
of course,
Please hire these people, FBI, because y'all taking forever.
I don't even know what to say to you right now. But
But
it is true.
but just to elaborate on the damages done, as women, we're not as easily forgiven, or I don't know what the
Preach.
word is, as our male counterparts, except Chris Brown. I don't know. People really
Oh my
despise Chris,
God,
but that's probably because it's Riri.
yeah,
But Chris Brown, he still hasn't been forgiven for his wrongdoings, and we know his wrongdoings.
right.
But I think Lizzo rubs some people the wrong way. So with this, it's just sending them over the edge. Plus, people are not going to research the way we do or like the way
Right.
other people do. Be like, oh, she's guilty. Or people like us that we go to the comments and see like, hey, what are people thinking?
Mhm.
Everybody's just already thinking she's guilty. They don't care. So
Yeah.
that sucks for her.
I think that's like the most accurate thing you've said. Like they don't care. People do not care.
They don't. They
It
already have their
Yep.
thoughts.
If it's salacious, they're gonna run with it, and that's it. And for you guys that maybe haven't watched it yet, check out our Barbie videos, Barbie Mania, all of them. But in our Barbie movie review, we talked about America Ferrera's monologue concerning women and how difficult it is to be a woman in this world, and how it's like you you cannot do right by doing right. Like it does not matter. So it's like
Mhm.
even if let's say Lizzo did not intend to fat shame this woman, it was perceived that way. And because she's a boss, she is now being sued. And so now she has to deal with the ramifications of that in the way that's going to affect her. Because, like you said, we're not forgiving of women. Women don't get easily absolved of things. This dancer, like, she is not Lizzo, so she can go back to like obscurity, not to be like dismissive or anything. I don't want to get sued either, but like she can be like a regular person on the street, and she'd be fine, even if let's say she exaggerated, right? Hyperbolic, whatever. She can go back onto the street and walk around and nobody will say, anything to her, like, or call her out. Lizzo goes onto the street and people can call her out immediately. So it's like, it sucks because again, this is like a woman against another woman. And so it's hard to really like, pick a side. I don't want to pick a side, but I also don't want to be Switzerland. But again, this is why we do our research. This is why we look up, different information to have a well-rounded opinion. And so for me, I'm waiting until there's a trial. I'm waiting until right, if there is one. If there is a settlement, though, let me just tell you right now, guilty.
You're like, guilty. Yeah.
I mean, but hey, that was my opinion. So yeah, it just sucks. It's being a woman is freaking hard, and just for some of this stuff to like be made harder, it sucks. It really sucks.
I don't know how I want this to go. Like, of course, I'm not gonna wish Lizzo bad, but if she did do something, people got to be compensated accordingly, or whatever they want,
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a tough thing. But celebrities should know. I always go back to this. Celebrities should know the people around them. They should know that people around them want to be on the come up, and they have to watch all their P's and Q's and their I's and whatever other letter in the alphabet it is, because one wrong move can send your whole career down the drain. Look at Kevin Spacey, like you mentioned. I'm like, we were infatuated with House of Cards and his whole decades long career. And this one thing, this is just an example, this one thing, whether he did it or not, even though he was not guilty, whether he did it or not, that stains his career. Will Smith, let's something lighter. Will Smith doing what he did, defending his woman. Like, some people can't unsee that anymore. Will Smith was regarded as one of like Hollywood's top, actors. He doesn't even curse in his raps. Like, how happy can Will Smith get? And then he did an action like that. Like, nobody can ever forget that. It's just one thing that can ruin your career. And I don't think enough celebrities really think about that. Some of them might think that they're untouchable, or people are not going to come forward or stuff. Not saying that Lizzo's guilty or whatever, but
no, you're absolutely correct. Like, I see Will.
There should even probably be a buffer at this point. There should be like, hey, kind of don't talk to me, talk to my manager or whoever is managing the process, just so there could be like a line of separation, just so it can like, benefit you in case of like things like this,
Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's crazy because you're right. But if she does that, she's a diva.
Standoffish. Yeah. We can't win.
There's no, like, oh, no.
Flip a cup if I had one. We can't win. I would eat a snack if I had one near me. We can't win.
No, absolutely not. Like,
I would just go and get on the treadmill while I eat some Doritos. It cancels out. We can't win, okay?
We can't win. And we can't have Doritos without being on the treadmill, apparently.
We can't.
That's it. Well, I mean, that's our wrap here of wrap up of the Lizzo headline. Let us know what y'all think, and if y'all think she's guilty, allegedly, let us know in the comments.
I'll be interested to see. Yes, I hold grudges. She should have worn at least regular underwear, not a whole thong to the Lakers game. But if you guys think, she's guilty or innocent, let us know in the comments and let us know why. And we'll go ahead and research some more, or you might you'll know who's talking to you based on the answer. I'll be like, she's guilty. Alleged. I don't need to be sued. I can't take it, okay?
This is all alleged.
So guys, please subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. We have like almost 70 videos up from fashion. I know, right? From like fashion to like more serious topics to
Court.
Kanye drama to Kardashian fest. You know, the Kardashians, they consume our lives, but we love it and hate it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic here. But, you know, we'll see you next time. Peace.